The operating theater in Rome never slept. Long after the corridors emptied and the buzz of daytime faded into stillness, the OR remained alive, its light steady, its beeping monitors rhythmic, its sterile air laced with anticipation. And in the center of that quiet, controlled chaos, two hearts found something unexpected. They had worked together for months, perhaps even longer, though time often felt distorted within hospital walls. He was a surgeon, precise, focused, and often unreadable behind his surgical mask. She was a scrub nurse, efficient, composed, and quietly commanding. Their interactions were dictated by protocol and necessity, their dialogue brief, technical, and void of personal flair. But as the nights stretched longer and the cases became more complex, something shifted. The space between them, once filled with only the essentials of a job, started to carry weight. Glances lingered. A passing touch while handing over an instrument sparked more awareness than either expected. Beneath the surface of their professionalism, a current began to flow. Rome, with its ancient soul and timeless streets, often whispered of romance. But inside the OT, their bond grew not from poetry or flowers, but from shared silence, mutual trust, and the unspoken language of hands working in sync. There was something profoundly intimate about standing shoulder to shoulder for hours, saving lives, breathing through tense moments, and celebrating quiet victories. He began noticing the way she prepared the table, how meticulous she was, how her movements seemed to choreograph a kind of grace amid urgency. She began recognizing the softness behind his sharp eyes, the way his voice, though clipped, always held a measure of reassurance. They never spoke of it. Not in words. Their boundaries were sacred, defined not just by professionalism, but by mutual respect. Yet, during a particularly grueling surgery one stormy night, their restraint trembled. Lightning cracked outside, echoing through the high windows. The power flickered but held. Inside the OR, they continued, steady and calm, though both could feel the tension rising, surgical and emotional. When the operation ended successfully, a collective exhale filled the room. One by one, the team filtered out, until only the two of them remained. They stood in the stillness, surrounded by the scent of antiseptic and the soft hum of machines powering down. "You were incredible tonight," she said softly, breaking the silence. He looked at her, his eyes searching. "You always are," he replied. It wasn't much, but it was enough. They didn't rush toward each other. There was no sweeping embrace, no impulsive kiss. Instead, he reached out, gently brushing a stray lock of hair from her forehead, his gloved fingers pausing just a second too long. Her breath caught, and in that moment, the air between them changed. What followed was not a whirlwind romance, but something deeper, rooted in late-night shifts, shared exhaustion, mutual admiration, and subtle gestures. Coffee left on the counter. A warm gaze before a complex procedure. Shoulders brushing in narrow corridors. They found moments between the minutes. A conversation over a vending machine at 3 a.m. A brief pause on the hospital rooftop where Rome sprawled in golden silence below. Their connection, though never flaunted, became undeniable. It was on one such rooftop evening, under the faint shimmer of city lights, that they finally allowed the moment to carry them. No words, just a look that held every unspoken thought. He stepped closer. She didn't move away. And there, amidst the scent of rain and the distant hum of scooters, they kissed, slowly, reverently, like a promise sealed in quietude. The operating theater saw them again, and again after that. Still professional, still dedicated. But now, there was a softness in their coordination, a comfort in knowing they were no longer alone in the weight they carried. Their story wasn't about grand declarations. It was about resilience, connection, and the kind of love that grows not in spite of the chaos, but because of it. In the heart of Rome, behind surgical masks and under fluorescent lights, two people discovered that even in the most clinical spaces, love could take root. And in those sacred hours of the night, as lives were mended, so too were hearts quietly stitched together.